Hey everyone, Pupsker here. Today in Where Winds Meet, I wanted to go over 10 tips and tricks that should hopefully help you have an easier time in the game. As always, if there's any tips or tricks you want to also share, throw them in the comments because this is a massive game. It is essentially an open world RPG live service game where you should interact with multiplayer and co-op, but you don't really have to a lot, but we will talk about a little bit of that today. So, since this is a free-to-play game, I did quickly start off with it's not actually a pay-to-win game. Surprisingly, right? Most people expect open-world free-to-play RPGs, games like that, to be kind of pay-to-win and incredibly unfair. But no, you can buy almost nothing for straight-up stat boost increase in this game. If we take a look at the shop right now, you can see most of what they're featuring is the Battle Pass, which technically this is like slightly pay to win because you get a little bit of Echo Jade reward, which can be used to buy like items, power, gear, or you can fully use that on cosmetics, but we'll talk about that later. But for the most part, outside of the Battle Pass, stuff like that, it's all cosmetics. So we have cosmetics here, cosmetics there, horse cosmetics, right? Character cosmetics. We have new kind of martial arts effects. Not bad, right? Even more cosmetics. Here's even more cosmetics. And then they're just showing off like, yeah, you get intro effects, physical cosmetics, horse cosmetics. Can we talk about how the horse ski is the highest tier mount? Okay, thank you for coming to my TED Talk, 10 out of 10. Right, you just get a lot of generic or really cool, depending on how you look at. Hell yeah. A lot of really cool general type of cosmetics where you surprisingly can't actually straight up buy power. I was surprised about that. I thought you'd be able to buy more power through like occasional merchant packs and whatnot, but no, they just have a ton of shops and menus, and it might be eventually a little rough to find, and you will get used to it, but yeah, there's really not a lot that you can buy straight up power with, and these are all like different shops. Bounty shops, guild shops, sect shop, social shop, and seasonal shop. Yeah, you want to do a lot of stuff in the game. As it is a live service, a lot of things like that. If you're worried about paying to win, if you're worried about hitting like progress locks because you're weak, don't. You can turn the difficulty down in the game and there's no pay to win outside of, let's say, you know, the battle pass, and then there's PvP, so better geared people, I assume, do get an advantage in PvP if they've played the game longer and stuff like that. So yeah, no pay to win, good job Where Winds Meet, but it does have gacha pulls for cosmetics and purchasable cosmetics in the shop. So yeah, you know, I'm not really too mad about gacha pulls for the cosmetics because, again, the game itself is free to play and it's not really pay to win, so I'm not really mad there. Everything in the game at this point primarily is unlocked through questing in this game. These are the main quests or side main quests of the first area. Each one of these quests unlocked something big and some good loot for me. So I would recommend that everyone goes through these quests, get your loot. They're required because you get a lot of medicinal tales from them. You get a lot of like tomes for certain abilities, right? Scroll of Mystic. This one got us, okay, just more other ones. Yeah, more medicinal tales. Either way, 100% you want to do these side quests, and you want to obviously do all your main quest, campaign quests. But the thing that the game doesn't fully tell you is, outside of the highly available side quests that you see there is such a large amount of not lost chapter main story quests, but there's such a large amount of exploration and encounter quests. And these quests actually are really good to do. They're a lot faster. Think of it like this. You have your main story quest. Okay, makes sense. Main story, understandable. You have your lost chapters, which are like your side quests, main story side quests. Lots of them lead to new boss fights and new skills that you unlock. Also pretty important that you do these. Then you have the very minor side quests, encounters, as well as exploration. Because you can see a lot of these don't really tell you what loot you're going to be getting because it takes it into the end where you can actually get the loot. So they're like long chain side quests, and I need to get a lot more of them. But you also have the long chain side quest encounters, which are similar to exploration. A lot of these are good for Echo Jades, you get cosmetics, and you get a ton of loot from them. Some of these are crucial to unlock skills in the game. It's how I believe I unlocked fire arrow crafting through an exploration side quest. It's how you unlock all of your movement techniques. It's how you can unlock side weapons without doing the skill theft, or you can do the skill theft, but don't worry about that. So it's just such an important thing to do. You get a lot of in-game accessories, hero titles. Obviously, it increases your exploration in the game, and there's just so much to actually do and find. So I would recommend, while you're going through the game, remember to backtrack and do some of those side quests, side encounters. Sometimes if you're looking to get a certain skill or be able to craft something, you might end up finding, oh shit, I have to go run that side quest. And the nice thing is the game tells you where you can farm everything at any point in the game, as long as you're clicking through the menus. So for example, I could click through like to my weapon, and then I'm just like, how do I get that? The game tells you. So it's very, very convenient. Either way, I just wanted to make sure you're aware, questing unlocks so much in this game, but not just the main quest, also the side quest. So make sure you do your quests, okay? For this tip, I really wanted to express how important exploration is in this game, along with the side character stats and skills that come along with exploration. So I was talking about how earlier some of the more like green quests that pop up and things like that can get you some skills. Let me show you a K-Fang if I have one example. Yeah, so these sort of green exploration quests that pop up are very important to do, as well as the journey ones, exploration ones. All of these quests are very important to do because they unlock key exploration and just items and skills in the game all over. So even though these seem small, and half the time you're like, oh, I might not get a lot of loot out of it, you can get a key skill. The green skills or green quests like those are how I learned to fly. And with that, you need to explore and do all of these general exploration, as well as your oddities like the bugs to collect around. Those are probably one of the more important explorations because out of the oddities, you can end up getting a lot of loot in the game. Luckily, they tell you this very early on. I just hope a lot of people don't ignore it, because there's a lot more that you can get out of that. With all of your skills and whatnot on your character, you can go to the details on your character. And oh boy, here's where you have a lot of your combat stats, but here is where you have your exploration mastery. You have points, aspiration, resolve, elegance, perception. All of these are your side stats that affect like your side content exploration game modes, and it tells you how to get it. You get this with Pitch Pot or by running the Madao cards. Elegance, Gourmet mode, or Kitten Hunt. Perception, Archery, or Oddity Collection. That's why mine's so high. Coordination, Oddity Collection, Cultivate Ability, right? It tells you how that you can get all of these exploration attributes, and these are incredibly important to get. Because out of that, you get, that's right, a bajillion different character exploration skills. And I've unlocked all of the tier 1s, I've unlocked most of the tier 2s, and I've only unlocked one tier 3. Increase arrow duration by 20% during archery. So my arrow perception is even better. Using Celestial Seas to steal target items gives you a higher chance of success. So now you can steal from people better. So yeah, shows you the closest chest on the minimap in Qinghe and Kaifeng, excluding some hidden chests. So you have a better chest perception. This one's insane. I can't wait to get this one, right? Increased chance of self-healing during illness evolution, allows you to understand the speech of certain birds and beasts. So now you can listen in on birds and everything. So I just wanted to go over a lot of this to be like, it's so good, dude. You really need to. Increased damage when thrusting and stake techniques during wrestling, because there's a lot of side stuff. Buildings become more durable with components durability increase, lowers chance of contracting illness, more arrow flight speed, right? Increased damage from pushing attacks during wrestling. So it's a lot of exploration skills that help your exploration even more. But since exploration is so important in the game, you need to get all of those, because guess what? A lot of these stats and exploration, you do eventually get side stats that increase your other damage or abilities one by one, especially because through oddity collection and then handing those in, you get straight up stat boosts, minimum damage, max damage, your attributes here. It is a small increase to your martial mastery, but after you hand in 100 oddities, that's still like freaking 100 mastery or even more. So it's hundreds of mastery, right? So by the end of it, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 mastery. Oddities are important and they will increase your stats along with all of your other stuff. So the game's nice like that. There's a lot of things that will increase your power. And sometimes if you're like a little stuck or if you need a little break, you're like, okay, I will just give up on this boss. I ended up giving up on like the hardest campaign boss for a little bit, as well as the final campaign boss that I was doing for the Promised Light. Took a little bit of a break, collected some oddities to chill, got a little bit of a stat boost, increased my weapons a bit, and then I came back and won. So it's a nice time to take a break a little bit. So remember, exploration and character stat increases do go along with it, so you need to do it, and it is incredibly important to do it over time. The next thing I wanted to go over is the Echo Jade currency. Now, this is think of it like low tier freemium currency. It's not the premium currency in the game. That is Echo Beads. No. Echo Jade is the freemium currency. So it is the free currency you get through open world exploration, through playing the arena, through engagement awards, through guild benefits. This is the item you get through playing through the game. And again, it tells you how to get it in other ways. And it is used for a couple of things. It's used for a handful of merchants, it's used to buy things in shops, and it can be used essentially to buy certain items or skills, whatnot, that can increase your power. Or you can use it on more cosmetic type stuff, such as these draw tokens. I could get 80 almost cosmetic purchases for draws where I could win gear, right? Or with the Echo Jade, instead, I could go to one of the merchants here, it looks like. I haven't actually found him yet. Or I could go to this merchant over here, and what you can do, you can purchase pretty much these like scrolls so that you can increase the level of your skills a little bit. But Echo Jade isn't incredibly pay to win. You'll just find that it is the freemium currency used to buy things at a handful of vendors. So I wanted to quickly remind everyone, try not to spend your Echo Jade on items that are somewhat readily available. Instead, you'll probably want to spend it on the more non-readily available things like these skill books. Can be used for the Inner Way Breakthrough or recycle for 5 book plates. Collect 5 book plates to exchange for a random tip. So these will essentially be used to increase your Inner Way comprehension and give you a little bit of a boost. Your Inner Way comprehension at a certain level, I think starting at level 2, gives passive boosts, so you do actually want to buy these eventually. That's why I was saying you can use Echo Jade to either purchase some actual power increase type of items, or you can say F that and straight up only purchase cosmetic shenanigans. Because of course, you do get your Inner Way books through playing the game as well, and through other various methods. Or you could just buy out this entire shop and get a good fast boost. So, like I said, there's a lot of separate things there. But even though the menu said that those were the only merchants and only shops for Echo Jade, that's a lie. The usage of Echo Jade can be used in so many other areas, right? Like just looking at the item shop, you can use it to buy random items. Use and alter, reshape your looks, right? They're the cosmetic pulls. These are the premium cosmetic pulls. You can only buy 2 of these a week with Echo Jade, which I am choosing to do because I will get some premium pulls eventually, right? And then you can just buy like more low tier stuff, like social items for message horns with Echo Jade, fireworks. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can buy a little bit of power, or you can buy cosmetics. completely up to you, because I honestly don't think you need to spend your Echo Jades on resource boosting and like power if you don't need to, because you can always lower the difficulty of the game. The game does have, I think, 4 different difficulties, so keep that in mind. It's, while you can buy power with the Echo Jade a little bit, it's just not necessary. So yeah, let me know what you think so far of the guide, everyone. And as always, sub, like, and you can use Epic Games creator code Pupsker to support the channel. Now, I was talking about how the game is essentially Echo Jades for cosmetic or power. There is no gacha in the game at all to increase your straight up power or damage. The only gacha the game has as of right now is straight up to get cosmetics, to my knowledge. And people are saying a year into the China release, because this game is about 11 months released in China already, the game still doesn't have any pay-to-win hardcore passes or boosts or anything like that. It's apparently stayed true to 0 pay-to-win and only really pay for cosmetics and gacha cosmetics. So as we were looking at the shop before, only cosmetics can be purchased via gacha, nothing else, right? So it's nice like that, okay? I'm trying to get back to the, there it is, the draw menu. This is the draw menu for all of the gacha cosmetics. This is your more event gacha cosmetics. So you see 18 days, they only take Echo beads, which you have to purchase with money in order to get the cosmetics. So pay to win cosmetics. Who cares? The cosmetics are cool, but like, I don't really care enough to spend money myself. But this is the high tier gacha cosmetic I was talking about that you can only purchase 2 of a week with your Echo Jades. These are a little more expensive if you wanna, you know, pull for those. And it also has the cheaper one that you can purchase a ton of. Of course, it does have an exchange shop. So as you slowly get your free pulls, you can spend some of your echoes, your draw, your loot. You can buy cosmetics in the shop. So eventually, if you collect enough of your Celestial Echoes, your Solemn Echoes, through playing the game or maybe purchasing it with Echo Jade, hey, at least you can purchase multiple other cosmetics, masks, right? Avatars. You can purchase more lingering melodies, right? Scenario environments. Through the Echoes, you can purchase like Dominant Breath, Dragon Breath, Harmonic Cores. Here are the draw purchases. By the way, fun fact, the most expensive cosmetic in the game can cost like $40,000 to $70,000. It is a boat which requires 170 of these Mirage torn pages, and then you exchange those at a shipbuilder over, I think, down here. You exchange that for a shipbuilder down here, which will then build you a ship. Okay? And if that sounds crazy, it's because it is crazy. The most expensive cosmetic in this game straight up is like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that's just insane to me. I want to show you because it exists right here. This is the most expensive cosmetic. Oh, that's where the ship is. It's at up here. So that's where you exchange for Mirage Dreamweaver blueprints. 170 Mirage torn pages for the Mirage boat gives you 60,000 elegance score. You get so dripped out, okay? One person to my knowledge has purchased this so far. And you also get like this drip, I guess. I don't know, man. So it's just such a crazy game like that. But hey, if you want to go for the cosmetic gacha, go for it. If you don't want to, don't. So I was talking about this a little bit earlier. How can you farm every single item in the game? Well, it's simple. First and foremost, the game actually has a search function here. So if you want to know how to search for something or farm something, just like search up umbrella. The game will pop up some things, and sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. But you can try searching an umbrella there, and it'll take me here. Doesn't really work too well. Or you can search like fan art. Nope, doesn't really work that well. I was wondering if this would work well, but it looks like it just doesn't work too well. In theory, if you find the proper words, like suggestion ones, it can work pretty well, but it just doesn't work too well. So instead, what you want to do is whenever there's something you want to farm, you want to click through to find out how, right? Talent points tells you how to farm it. Main story side stories, etc. and so forth. Let's say you want to get gear stuff, right? Oh, I want to throw on my different weapons. I can only throw on these 5 weapons because these are the only fan arts I've learned so far, like fan arts and then arts for other weapons. So I'm like, wait, how do I get this strategic sword? Oh, it tells you how to obtain it there. Boom, takes you over here, right there. Sanctum Sword, Sanctum Martial Arts Skill Theft. The game will literally tell you where to farm everything as long as you can find the proper menu to click through in order to find that item. So it's a little weird like that. It's like how the game has 70,000 different menus. It is menu hell. You're going to have to get used to that. But you can go to each area one by one. Let's go General Shrine. What do I need to do? I need to pet a cat. I need to do 2 encounters. I have to find an antique. I have to collect 5 more chests, find 2 more camps, and I also have to find 4 more old friends. So the game has so many menus, and each one of those menus tells you a lot of info on what you can farm up. Like, oh, I've 100% farmed this area. Each time you farm up an area, you get more Echo Jades, right? Couple areas I have 100% completed because they're either small or were like quest areas, but oh boy, does the game have a lot. These are the Wandering Tales. These are pretty much encounters because that's where you get Echo Jade and exploration. So yeah, these are the less, I guess, obvious encounters. Just talking around, listening to people, you pick up a lot of quests, okay? So the game is chock full of random stuff, and it tells you where to get everything half the time. So as long as you can find the item on a menu, you can figure out how to get something, right? Most of it is like development, gear, items. How do I get this? How do I get that, right? For my abilities, I've unlocked most of my mystic skills, but oh, Ghost Bind? How can I get that? Trapped in the narrow corner gate, ghostly blink can upend the sky. Open world exploration. So this one doesn't tell you exactly where to go. It just tells you, okay, trapped in the narrow corner gate, ghostly blink can upend the sky. So it gives you little hints. The Buddha said that the bell's sound could suppress the fiends like a lion's roar over the other beast. If you can find all the copper bells scattered in Xinghe, perhaps you'll comprehend the mystic skill. Okay, to get lion's roar, you have to find all of the copper bells. That's the thing. It tells you how to get it, but not easily. I think I've found 3 or 4 copper bells so far. So yeah, so a lot of this you might have to Google or read through. But other stuff, it'll just be like, oh, you want to know how to get this? How do I learn this? Oh, it's an exploration reward. By the way, you can learn your Wind Rider skill getting max level exploration here. So always click through menus. The game will tell you how to farm everything for the most part. If not, obviously, you can Google everything. But yeah, the game, very nice about that. So just keep that in mind. The menus do tell you where to get stuff. The next thing I wanted to go over is fast movement techniques in this game. Each one of the areas in the game, so far, we have Kai Feng, and we also have Qingxie. I'm terrible with pronunciation. In both of these areas, you can unlock fast traversal movement techniques. But you have to get your exploration to level 4 in each area. In order to do that, just explore, do quests, and do in-game content, right? But the Afterglow Pendant is a keepsake of the Palace of Annals. Equipping it allows free use of Grand Lightness skills and wall riding in the area. And this other area here, right, Kaifeng also has the same one. They have the Flight Medallion instead, but they have their own version of it. As you play the game longer, mounts are purely cosmetic. You might be thinking, why? Well, it's because of my movement techniques. Hold down your run button for a little bit, and now you're running as fast or faster than the mounts, and you can jump like this, master all of your lightness techniques, and eventually you'll just be able to go across like this. You are able to walk on water with these movement techniques, so keep that in mind. If there's somewhere you need to go, you can quickly get across the water, and then you just slow down like that in order to actually stop. But that's not all, right? The biggest movement technique of all is straight up flying in the game. So, certain point in the game, you unlock your mystic skills for flight. This essentially unlocks an animation that takes you in real time flying around the map. If you look at my map in the top left, That's why it's used as like a pretty good traversal technique. If you ever find exploration or things like that while you're flying around, you can instantly go to the ground and try to acquire it, right? Like there's a thing right here. I could just go boop and then instantly take a look, see what's going on at any point. So you have a traversal technique like that, straight up flying, which will just take you hundreds, if not, I think it maxes out at near about 1,000 meters forward. The reason being is it takes you up and then forward, but if you're on the high ground, you'll get way more distance compared to if you're on the low ground, because that's just how, you know, physics works. If you go up 100 meters and the mountain is just 100 meters up, you're not really gaining much height, right? You're just going onto the mountain. Because you'll be able to see, like, obviously the lightness technique in flying, it's harder to get all the way up there if you're not close to there. But yeah, that's how that works. It's a pretty interesting game, and there's a lot of different mechanics and movement to unlock that just make traversal like a breeze. So I would definitely recommend always explore around so that you can get some loot. And of course, exploration is just king in this game because it's an open world live service RPG. So collect everything you can, everybody. I showed this off a little bit earlier, but as of right now, I would recommend early-ish on in the game, you should get every single weapon type. And you might be like, well, why? Why do I want every weapon type? Okay, let me show you. As of right now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different weapon styles, okay? So that's like martial arts styles for the weapons. I think there's technically 5 weapons because you have like long swords, kind of spear. You have like longsword spears, fans. You have spears. You have umbrellas, rope darts. Okay, you have the strategic sword. You have the nameless sword, which are the same type of sword, but just a different martial arts for it. And then you have the infernal twin blades, which is a different sword. With the spears, you have the Stormbreaker spear, you have the nameless spear, or you have the Heavenquaker spear, which is a separate spear from the like Thundercry blade. So you have what, 12 different martial arts between like 7 different weapons? Why are these pretty interesting and cool to use? Well, each one of these different weapons has kind of a different play style, different abilities, different charged attacks. So it's really interesting to use their different attacks, right? The Infernal Twin Blade, it's like primarily a left attack. But then you hit your Super Saiyan and you go sicko mode, start attacking people, you gain a little boost. At the end of it, you attack enemies, you have like a heavy attack, and then you have like a charge attack like that. It's pretty cool. Whereas the spear has like the AoE roar, it has a forward attack, and this is a better, more tanky weapon, so you're more classified as a tank if you're using this one, compared to a melee DPS if you're using the twin blades. Why are you a tank if you use the spear? Probably because this gives damage reduction, right? And probably because this one also grants fortitude and knocks down and gives vulnerability to the enemies. So it's a longer weapon, and during skills, charge attacks, you get fortitude, which immune to all crowd control when hit. All but crowd control when hit, sorry. So they're different style of weapons, whereas the fan is classified as a healing thing. This is actually why I just went to unlock that. I've been really lazy with unlocking my side weapons because I've just been exploring, but the fan is a healing weapon. So it's really good to get this weapon because you can be functionally goddamn near invincible as long as you remember to dodge enough and heal yourself, right? Wave a fan to release a stream of water, consume dewdrops, apply healing. Cloudburst healing. This applies AoE healing to you and like your teammates. So different weapons, different sort of skill sets. This other fan, same fan, but different martial arts for it. This one is the range DPS, right? You have melee DPS, range DPS, tank, range DPS, melee DPS. This other umbrella is a healing umbrella, so you can do heals there, and like damage up type of stuff. And then the rope dart is melee DPS. So you might like the playstyle of one weapon more than the other. You might like the fact that you can heal and it's really hard to die. So you could do a straight up like healing and tank build, because even if you're tank building a weapon, still does a lot of damage, okay? My DPS on my Stormbreaker spear, just as good as my Infernal Twin Blade sometimes. So yeah, it doesn't really matter too much, but As long as you remember, like, it tells you where to get it, track to obtain. Yeah, where do I get this one? And then it tells you, hey, go over here, Inkwell Sanctum, Martial Arts Skill Theft. Okay, that's where I can go skill theft that. So each game, weapon, skill, etc., each area, it just tells you how to farm it. So make sure you collect some of the other weapons. You'll get more loot for it, but more importantly, you'll just have more progress and more playstyle that you can change around at any time. So it's fun. Later on when you do raid bosses, you actually want to specify like group raid bosses with co-op or multiplayer people, right? You want to specify range or DPS, tank, or healing. So that'll definitely help a lot if you plan to do a lot of that later on. Either way, let me know what you think so far. Handful of promo code tips now. The thing about promo codes is this game is a little weird, but it'll probably cycle out promo codes consistently. It released so that it had 5 promo codes, and you can find the promo codes over in the settings all the way to other, and it's right there, exchange code. As of right now, there are only 2 promo codes, I think, that are still working, but I'll double check quickly. One of the promo codes was WWMGO1114. That one might be all used up right now. The other one was WWM251115. That one might already, that one might still work since it said I already used the code. And then they had one for like Where Winds Meet Global Launch TikTok, and it looks like that one is still available, I think. And then they also had a Where Winds Meet Global Launch YouTube, which might also still work. So just try those codes out for some free loot. Remember to check out codes online like every couple of weeks or once a week. They haven't released a ton since the launch at all, so maybe they'll release one every month, every update, things like that. But just occasionally check around whenever maybe you hear some news about a new stream update or things like that with Where Winds Meet. And the last thing I wanted to go over in this game is how important it actually is to play multiplayer in the game. So once you start actually unlocking different things in the game, you'll unlock a lot of co-op stuff, casual co-op. A lot of these are very important in order to obtain different types of resources. Like you can get commerce coins, you can get adventure slips, you can get regular coins, character XP, and I mainly wanted to talk about the adventure slips. Like adventure slips, a great reason to run a bunch of these different co-op things because the adventure slips are just really, really good loot, okay? And also you get like Echo Jades and stuff like that for running this for the first time. And you can just go run it from your menu, stuff like that. They have a fireworks show in the game. They have Mahjong God Challenge. I'm awful at Mahjong. Maybe don't do that because it has an entry fee. So there's the Mirage Boat, right? The boat opens every Sunday at 4 and every Sunday at looks like that is my local time at 6 p.m. So this was the boat I was telling you about that costs like $40,000 to $60,000 to get. Go there. It's like an in-game event where everyone joins in on the boat. It tells you where, I guess, or when it'll be available. So pretty cool stuff there. The game is a lot of just shenanigans and multiplayer. And in order to get a lot of loot, you do want to do a lot of that like multiplayer shenanigans. Just not even in casual co-op, there is arena mode, which is, you know, multiplayer. Eventually you go against people. Great to get loot as well. Fun if you like PvP. You can do challenge modes with people to do bosses with other people. So it's a lot of fun there. You can do outposts with other people, which are called, I think it's under Sword Trial. I think the joint battle is outposts with other people. And then you have these other boss fights, Void King or Yi Wanshan, or I can do the Dream Gymming Pool. So there's a lot of different multiplayer options, okay? And that's through like actually playing the game. You can also just throw the game onto online mode quickly, just if you want to get thrown into online mode to like say hi, mess around, or see what people are doing. It takes you to a little public lobby, and now there's a bunch of people around. If I check the map, Like there's stuff to do in here. There's, I think, a couple other areas. Like there's one area over here, there it is, where you can do a bunch of daily multiplayer kind of cultivation things. And that gets you some adventure slips, coins, character XP. So just like as a daily thing, the game just has so much multiplayer if you want to do it, but it also has, you know, less multiplayer. Because if you're in the multiplayer online mode, you can't do all of your exploration, right? It's multiplayer exploration, so you can't do your single player stuff. So it's a little weird like that, but yeah, remember, play multiplayer to unlock a ton of loot, everybody. Either way, that is it for my Where Winds Meet guide. Beginner's guide, top 10 tips and tricks. I really hope it helped out. Let me know what you think, and as always, share your own tips and tricks in the comments down below, because the game's huge, it has a lot to learn, and I'm absolutely adoring my time with it right now. I think I have, at this point, about 45 hours in the game, and I'm just unlocking things one by one, trying to slowly complete areas, all my quests done there, slowly doing my quests here. I can't wait. So thank you all so much for liking the video, commenting down below, and watching anything. Check out any of the other Where Winds Meet shorts, videos, guides, or anything like that. If you want to support the channel, you can do all that. Use Epic Games creator code Pupsker if you buy anything on the Epic Games Store. So thank you all so much, and I will see you next time. Cheers.